Alright, I'm working on a 92 4Runner. I have already taken off the strike plate and the fan shroud. It needs to be noted that the fan shroud has to be taken off at the same time as the fan. This is the fan. I've also taken out the battery already. What I'm doing is I'm taking out the water pump down there, and let's see if you can see it from here. Well, it's down there somewhere. And to do that, you got to take off the fan shroud, and the belts. I took everything apart. I'm putting it back together so you can sort of see how things are, and that'll get you, oriented with the way these things are taken off. First off, you have to loosen up the power steering pump, and you do so by pressing down and undoing one of the bolts that's holding it to the bracket here, and you press down and you pull the belt off. You also have to loosen the alternator belt, and that also has a bolt down here and a bracket. Also, you need to note that, as you can see, the bracket for the power steering pump is a bolt here and down there. And it also has one on the side in here. Okay? All of those have to be taken off because the power steering pump has to be moved out of the way. Actually, it has to be removed before you can take out the water pump. Alright, so you take off of the radiator hose, okay, and then you remove the fan. It's got 4 bolts, if you can see this. Alright, you got to hold the fan down and undo the bolts, and then you pull the fan and clutch assembly along with the fan shroud. After you've gotten that off, then you pull the belts and this pulley. They don't have tape on them, by the way. You're also going to take off this water jacket. Okay? This is not the thermostat housing. It's just an inlet, or actually exit for water. You need to take note of this bolt. This is a weird ass bolt. I don't know how to explain it. It's cross threaded. Okay? And they put a nut on one end of it. And then the very tip is a star socket thing. I don't know what the hell it's called. What happened here is that they did that, but the nut stayed on one, and it came off on the other, and I ended up having to take and put vice grips to it. Anyway, you get that off, and you get these belts and pulleys off, and then there are, I don't know, half a dozen, maybe 7 little bolts here, down here, can you see that? Down here and here that you take off to take off the timing belt shroud. Okay? And then pull that away, and you have to kind of pull those hoses out of the way to get it, and then you pull that off. There is your timing belt. Even though this is a V6 on 4-cylinder motors with a dual overhead cam, the setup is pretty much the same. And there's your water pump. And so, if I can get down in here so you can see it, there's 2 bolts here that hold the power steering pump, and they have to be taken off prior to taking off the water pump. Also, this is the thermostat housing. So if you have a faulty thermostat, this is where you're going to go to replace it. Which means, yes, you got to do all of this other crap so you can get to it. even if it's just an $8 piece. And that is the water pump. All right.